Hi. Okay, so it is late at night and I'm trying to make this video, so I apologize in advance if I ramble. Second, we're under tornado watches, so if you hear, loud noise or if the electric goes out, that's what it is. Okay, now that we got that cleared out. Okay, so in this video, I'm wanting to show you something that I will be doing to help me choose curriculum for any year, any child, any grade level, any subject. Okay, I came up with this at the first part of February, and it has already, it's been about 2 months now, and it has already helped me. It's really helped me focus and narrow down what's really important, because there's so much curriculum out there. It can get so overwhelming. And by me doing this, it's really helped me to pick out to more easily pick out what is right for us. So by me doing this video, I'm hoping that if you decide to do this, that it'll help you as well. When I say choose curriculum, I mean, what publisher to choose for. And when I say to help you choose curriculum, I'm talking about like the publisher. What publisher you should choose for what grade level, for what topic, what subject, things like that. Okay. So I kind of want to go a few years back and say something. We started homeschooling in 2009, and our first year of homeschooling, my husband and I, we sat down and we made a mission statement, okay, the things that, like, why we were homeschooling and what our goals were to homeschool our kids. Okay, this is our mission statement from 2009. It hasn't changed. We printed it out every single year and put it with our records and stuff like that. Honestly, we rarely ever read it. I just print it out every year and put it with our stuff, but we don't ever go through it. But I just wanted to bring that up because it's kind of neat how this goes back and ties into that, and I didn't even plan on that happening. It just happened. So it really helped me see that how my heart was back then is what my heart wants now too. So it helps me to know this is the right direction. Okay. So I told you about the mission statement. So what happened is, at the first part of February, I started having like a heart change with our homeschool approach, okay? If you want to read about it, there is a link in the description box below. It's titled, Am I Changing My Homeschooling Approach? And it's a two-part, part 1 and part 2. So read part 1 and then click on the link to read part 2. And this video kind of pulls some little bit of information out of there. So what I'm going to go over today is called a Master Curriculum Guide. And this is nothing you buy. This is just something you make. Each family is unique. So, you can't buy it. I mean, you have to make one for your own family. But what I've done is about the first part of February, I was sitting in the living room in my husband's recliner. And, I was going through this heart change. And I was thinking about, okay, what do I want my kids to know? What is important? Like, because, and kind of how, I can't tell you the part of how this came to be, not the whole story, but just part of how this heart change came to be is that we have a lot of, curriculum that we do, and it's good stuff. There's nothing wrong with it. It's good. It's not really a burden. But there's other stuff that I want to teach them that I think are important. But we don't have time for those because we have all this curriculum, all these resources, okay? So that's just kind of a background. So I was writing down everything that I wanted them to know. And I just wrote everything down. Just, chicken scratch, real sloppy handwriting. I was just writing. Okay, and this was not, the things I was writing, it was not like, okay, what do I want them to know in 7th grade? What do I want them to know in 2nd grade? It was none of that. It was, what do I want them to know before they leave home? Okay, so like from the time they were born to the time they move out, what do I want to have accomplished to teach them? Okay, so that's what I done. So I had this notebook paper, really sloppy writing because I was just, booking it. Okay, so I wrote down everything. And then I was like, okay, can I divide these up into subjects? Which one of these, what part could be for Bible, what part could be for math? Can I actually make this a curriculum? So I started doing that. I started, kind of breaking them up into categories. And then when I was done, I typed it up to where it's all neat, and I have it here. I'm not going to go over everything here with you, but I'll just show it to you. So it's a 2 pages. Here's one page. So I call it my master curriculum guide, master, because these 2 pages are the things that I want them to know before they leave home. And this is totally doable. This is like from birth to the time they move out, okay? Just 2 pages, it's totally doable. So I asked myself, in the end, what do I want my children to know? Okay, so these are the things I wanted them to know for Bible. This is what I wanted them to know for math, history, geography, science and health, language arts, electives, and then just some extra stuff. So I'm not going to go through everything or hardly any of this with you. If you do want to know everything that it says, you can find that information in the post I was telling you about. It's in the link below. It's in part 1. This is in here, or this information is in that post, part 1. So if you want to know exactly how this says, you can read that. But I do want to show you kind of how I'm using this, how this is helping to guide me into choosing resources. Okay, so I'll just go over the science part here. Okay, so for the science, I want my children to see God's design in all fields of science and health. I want my children to identify plants and their uses. I want to have nature studies and nature walks. I want my children to learn through their surroundings and have a relationship with nature. I want my children to be able to dive into what interests them. I want hands-on learning. I want my children to enjoy science. Okay, so that's just the science-related part that I want. Okay, so what I'll do is I will just pick a science curriculum, a science resource that will help meet those things, okay? So, in the recent video I done about how I'm doing science for next year, I used that to help guide me to kind of blend the textbook of Becca with the Charlotte Mason, and where it says I want my children to be able to dive into what interests them, I just let them choose what interests them in the book and then add to it things that they do want to know that wasn't in the book. So that's what we're doing. And I want them to be able to identify plants and their uses. So we're incorporating the Charlotte Mason, the living books, the nature walks, the nature studies. And I know you can't see it because I wrote it lightly in pencil, but under the science section, there are 3 of these items for science that are checked off because those things are being accomplished with our upcoming science curriculum that I talked about in another video. So, as I was planning on this, I was checking them off. I'm like, okay, if I do this, will it accomplish that? So that's how I'm using it. And it's really helping to guide me into seeing the things that are important that I do want to teach them. And just a second, I'm going to show you something. So this master curriculum guide is, really just helping me to narrow things down and focus on what's truly important to me to teach them, and if the books I'm interested in, if it will accomplish what I want them to know. Okay? So if you have any questions about that, just ask. It should be pretty easy to understand. I do want to go over two more things that I done at the same time as this. Okay, so one of the things I done is right after I done that, maybe a few days later, I don't remember, I thought about what do I want my kids to say whenever they are grown up and they are asked about their homeschool experience. What do I want them to say? What kind of reaction do I want them to have? So I thought about that, and I wrote those things down. And I went ahead and typed it up. So, what do I want my children to say about homeschooling when they are grown? I imagine that when they are grown and asked about what homeschooling was like, they would have a happy, tender smile upon their faces, and would reply that homeschooling was fun and enjoyable, that they learned about God and developed a strong relationship with their family. I want them to say that learning took place all over, they loved it, and that they hope to homeschool their own children one day. So, I printed that on the other side of my curriculum guide. Okay. The second thing I done is I also took it a step farther. I asked my children what they think of homeschooling right now. Okay. I asked them 3 questions. I asked them why they like homeschooling. They both said they like homeschooling because they learn about God, they feel safer, their days are shorter, so they have more time to read and play. I asked them what their favorite subjects were. My oldest, it was reading and history, and my youngest was history and math. I asked them what kind of things they enjoy doing in homeschool. What's their favorite homeschool memory when it comes to education stuff? They said like hands-on projects, 3D model objects, things like that. So now I call it armed. Now that I am armed with what I want them to say when homeschool's over, how they feel now, and what I want to teach them, these 3 things have really helped me, really helped me to keep it in the front of my mind as to what is important and what books I should pick out. And I'm really taking my time this year. In the years past, I always have the upcoming school year all ordered and bought and usually in my house by February of the current school year. That's just me. Here it is April and I haven't even made one purchase yet. Well, it's almost April and I haven't even made one purchase yet. I'm really taking my time and I'm taking it subject by subject. So I just want to put that out there. Now, one more thing I wanted to say that was really neat, because you know how I told you that I went over the mission statement, and I told you that I wanted to say that because it kind of ties in with the master curriculum guide, and it does. If you read the mission statement and read this, you can see the 2 kind of tie in. And that was not my plan, it just happened, and that was really exciting. Well, something else. Last week, I was cleaning out an old 3-ring binder, and I came across some old papers that I wrote, just, notes and stuff. And this paper was from 2014, so it's 3 years old. And this paper, it's like the Master Curriculum Guide. Back 3 years ago, I wrote down what is important to me. Math, strong mathematical foundation. I wrote down things just like I did for the Master Curriculum Guide. And it was just really fascinating when I came across this paper, because things that I wrote 3 years ago that I completely forgot I even done this were the same idea as the things I wrote down the 1st of February. So, I don't know, all of this is kind of just, I know I'm on the right track and doing the right thing, and so it's just exciting for me. So I feel like I am making good progress with this, and I feel like I am doing what God wants me to do with this and homeschooling, and switching it up and just taking my time. And so I just wanted to share that with you. And if you have any questions, just ask. Like I said, the link is in the description box below, kind of about how I am, why and how, I guess, I'm incorporating Charlotte Mason. There's a couple other videos I have about incorporating Charlotte Mason. So, if you're interested, check those out. Thank you for watching.